November 10th, 1995, monumental moment. The Jordan 11 drop, Concord. A lot of y'all now renamed it the Almighty Concord. It's that 2011 version. You see the box in the back. It's that one that y'all was going crazy over in certain parts of the world. It's a lot of footage of people wilding out to get these in 2011. So the reason why I decided to do a video about this shoe today is because, I often speak about the rewriting of the history. This sneaker at the time, like now, for a lot of people is considered a grail. But I'm speaking from 1995. It was a lot of mixed emotions about this sneaker. And I had this sneaker a week and a half, if not 2 weeks earlier than November 10th. And I'm going to give y'all the story on that too. So I'm speaking from a perspective of somebody who was 15 years old at that time, about to turn 16, actually, because my birthday is November 12th. So I was 15, about to turn 16. We'll get into how I got them, how I got the money to get them, what I did to get them. We'll get into all of that shit in a few minutes, but I always like to clarify shit like that because I don't want to come across as somebody that's speaking just because my date of birth states that I was old enough to know certain shit, but I was an active participant. Yeah, I had them. Not only did I have them, like I said, I had them early. So we're going to get into all that shit, but yeah, that shit bugged me out in 2011 to see how people was acting and reacting over these. When was that? June of 2011? Yeah, I was in the halfway house. So, we was having conversations and we seen it on the news and I'm like, damn, people was wilding out over them shits like that. And I mean, it goes to show that a lot of shit that you may see people talk about and speak about, that sneaker wasn't what it was sometimes until it retro, like the clout that certain sneakers got, and this sneaker being one, the retro really did it because we wasn't used to the patent leather look. Back then it was the first of its kind. And it was like, damn, this shit kind of looked like a tuxedo shoe in a sense. So at that time, niggas was like, eh. So for me, it was more or less like, yo, it's 2 weeks early. They not out. I could fuck the school up with them. So that was my thought process on getting these and shit. And believe it or not, when I had them back then, no bullshit, no exaggeration, 5 or 6 times is the most I wore them. I ended up giving these shits away, the OG pair, to an older man that had issues with drinking that used to walk past my house all the time to the liquor store. I still had these shits in 99. But my foot had grew too, and I wasn't even big on a sneaker like that. So I ended up giving him the OG shits back then. No bullshit. This is one of those sneakers that didn't really gain traction. Like how y'all think about this shit today was definitely not the thought process in 1995. And I didn't own another Concord after the OG. I never had another one. I had the bread one. The black and red shit, I had that, I think, when I came home 2013. That's a fact. In my opinion, that's my favorite one. The black and red or the Space Jam, the all black shit with the clear bottom. This shoe took a while to really catch its traction. Like, this colorway in 95 didn't catch, like, when the Columbia dropped. I don't remember the date, but I remember December 31st, 1995, when we was all in the tunnel. I had these shits on, Guess jeans, a Guess long sleeve t-shirt, and the black North Face Nupsy with these shits on, right? The chicks from my hood had them Columbia shits on. They was about 3, 4 deep. Everybody had them on. Well, they had them on that night in there. So I don't know if they got them early or the release date was before Christmas, but that's a fact. They had them white shits on December 31st, New Year's Eve, 95 turning 96. The traction started to pick up with those, but once them black and red shits hit, that's when people felt a little different about the sneaker. But it was still like, it was too much shit going on. This sneaker really ain't get to where it's at now until it was retro. And that's a fact. Maybe not in other places, but I'm talking about New Jersey, New York, and I made a post about it on my Instagram today. Look at some of the comments. Apparently and clearly, I'm not the only person that's felt like this. And prior to this video and talking about it today, I've been saying that shit ever since I started the page, and it's been Concord Talk. So I'm going to go back now, and we're going to go back to 1995 on when I got these shits and how I got them and what the fuck I did to get them. I'm going to give y'all a disclaimer. You know, I'm not glorifying my ways and actions of a 15-year-old at that time. And I'm just speaking the truth. I'm letting it be known. And there's a lot of motherfuckers worldwide that basically did the same type of shit I did. Like, you know what I mean? Risky business. We wanted what we wanted. And if by any means necessary, is some real shit. 1995. I don't remember the exact date, but I know for sure it was more than a week before these shits came out. No more than 2, but definitely more than a week, right? So I'm with an older guy from my building, probably like 3 years older than me, some shit like that. 3, maybe 4. But, I had jumped off the porch and the older niggas was fucking with me heavy, taking me places. You know what I mean? I was mature about my shit, you know what I mean? And at the time, I had really just started hustling. Actually, I just started hustling. It's my first pack, right? So we go to the mall. We just looking, and then the guy like, yo, we got the new Jordans and shit. So he showed us, and it was like, oh shit. So my man's was like, yo, I'm gonna get him. So I think I was a couple dollars short, definitely. But he was like, yo, I'll put the rest, get him. I was like $40 short on these shits, something like that, right? So when he bought them out and we looking at the shits, it was just like, fuck it, nobody got them. It was like, that's the thing about back then, right? It wasn't about what everybody else had or what they was doing to an extent. It was about being first and making the shit look good when you did it first. You know what I mean? So even though I looked at these shits and was like, you know what I mean? But it was like, fuck it. I was outside doing my 1-2. I had just got the Nupsy too. My birthday was coming up. I had just got that shit, so I'm like, these shit's gonna look crazy with that black Nupsy on. Make a long story short, get them. Weigh them shits outside in the hood. No, school was the next day, because it was a school day too when we went to the mall. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck school up with these tomorrow, because nobody knew. It wasn't like now where you got sneaker news or sneaker bar or some shit like that that'll tell you a sneaker's coming out way in advance. Like, that's some shit I don't even like, honestly, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't no way unless you just knew from employees at the store what was coming out. They really wouldn't tell you no dates back then, or they had the shit in the back waiting for the release. So that shit was a different type of flex right there back then. So you know how that shit go when you got some new shit, you lay the fit out. I forgot what I wore with these shits. I know I had that North Face on. More than likely some Guess Carpenter jeans with the pocket on the side. I'm like, fuck it. Boom. Rocked the shit to school. It was this hallway that we all chilled at, like by the gym, by the homerooms, but everybody would be lined up at that shit chilling before homeroom start. You looking at what niggas got on, y'all talking about any and everything under the sun, right? So I walked through. Mind you, I'm the only nigga with a North Face too, a Nupsy, in school at that time. Nobody else had it. Nobody else was wearing them. Niggas had Bears. Niggas had South Pole. Niggas had First Down. I was the only one with a Nupsy. So yeah, this picture right here, this is my high school yearbook picture. I took this shit with the Nupsy on. Yo, the camera people was acting. I was high as shit too. We had just went to the city because we could leave school for lunch. We went to the city. We got some weed. We rolled up. We smoked and shit. Niggas had their dress shirts on or whatever they was wearing for their picture. I'm the only nigga that had the white polo t-shirt. It was looked like a regular white t-shirt, but it had the blue polo horse on it with the Nupsy on in my picture, fresh shape up as shit. My father was mad as hell, like, yo, why would you do that? And I'm like, yo, I ain't wear no tie and shit. I don't want my memories to be like that. Like, that was my thought process and shit when I took this picture. My mother ain't give a fuck because I was graduating. That's all she cared about. But anyway, so now when I come down the hall with these shits on, niggas is like, yo, what the fuck is those on your feet? So everybody's stopping me, asking. This shit was pandemonium all day long, all day long. Yo, it was so crazy that a girl in a higher grade, she was already on me a little bit anyway. We was cool. We knew each other from the neighborhood, but she was like, yo, when you get older, I like you gonna be fly, the chick's gonna be on you. She was telling me that when I was young, shy as hell. Like, I mean young to the point I'll come in the corner store, I had some shit on that normally a lot of kids didn't have on my age because my brother was, you know what I mean? He was teaching me certain shit. I remember I came in the store one day, I had on this green Aeropostale bubble. My brother had gave me this shit. She had the same coat on, same color. She like, yo, what you know about this? Yo, she gave me a kiss on the cheek. Yo, almost fainted in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? A older girl will give you a kiss or whatever. So boom, yo, she seen me with them Jordans on. She was bugging, bugging. Yo, I got mad numbers that day. Like it was one of them moments that went down in history for having these shits first, right? Now, when I get to the block, to the corner after school, where the older niggas is posted up at, it was a different thing because they feeling how I felt, even though I had them. And my man that took me to get him, he had his shits on too. He was already on the corner because he was out of school. Niggas is like, yeah. You know what I mean? Some niggas was like, oh, nah, I'm about to go grab them shits because they was trapping too. You know what I mean? But majority was like, I don't know. Like, this patent leather shit was new. The next sneaker that came patent leather was Air Force Ones, low and mid, black with the white check. My mans and them ended up getting them. They got them shits from Albee Square Mall or some crazy shit they went to get them shits. I remember they wasn't in the hood. But yo, these shits left such an impact on the hood. Yo, that night we outside, right? Yo, so we in front of my building. It's a payphone, right? The niggas will always stand in front of there and wait for the fiends to walk up or the fiends to come out the building and shit. Now, mind you, I just told y'all this is the first pack I had. Just jumped off the porch, my very first pack. And for those that indulged in the same lifestyle, know when you first jump off the porch and shit, it wasn't to save money. It was to buy all the fly shit you could buy and look a certain way and do shit you wasn't able to do. And, you know what I mean? Outside really had you on that type of shit because it was really that easy. Like, even if you wasn't hustling or nothing and you come from them neighborhoods, like for me, for instance, where I lived and grew up at, my building was headquarters, narcotics central for my part of the neighborhood for trapping. It was infamous. I watched this shit from a baby all the way up. Now I'm outside And I'm outside with niggas and I'm seeing niggas make $1,000, $1,500 in 2-3 hours. They got the newest shit on. They going to the mall like that shit. Shout out to everybody that it didn't affect and bother, but like, yeah, you know what I mean? I dove in. That's just the bottom line to it. So anyway, we in front of the payphone and shit. And I'm telling niggas, and I'm just feeling good. Like, yo, that shit is a different type of feeling when you just flexed a different type of way on everybody. And they still not out yet. So in the mix of that, now I'm like, damn, I gotta get some, I gotta keep this momentum up. So in the mix of hustling, I'm buying shit to wear with the sneakers. I'm fucking my pack money up. Fucking it all the way up. Fucked it up to the point where I fucked the whole shit up. It's like a 500 pack. Fucked it all up. Every drip drop of it. No money left. None of that. Back to ground zero. Gotta figure out how to re-up. All that shit. But yo, we in front of the building and shit, and me and my mans is talking. And not my man that got the kicks, but like he like family, so we talking. And we talking about chicks. He like, yo, I been had her number. Talk about shorty that kissed me on the cheek earlier and shit. I mean, when I was younger, but she was on me over the sneakers at school. Yo, he calls her from the payphone and shit, right? So he talking to her. He like, yo, man, here, man. So I'm like, who is that? He like, yo, I just called this. And she like, he said, yo, she asked for you. So we laugh and I jump on the phone. She like, yo, come to my house. I ain't gonna get into all of that, but yeah, like, that's the type of shit that the sneakers caused back then and shit. Actually, she was another one that got them Columbias, them white shits too. When they hit the land and shit. Yeah, she was one of them ones that had them. With them white Columbias, a lot of females had them shits. Really more than men in my area anyway. Yo, I think also with this sneaker, I think this was like the first time that I really realized like the change in me. Like, for the simple fact, I only wore them 5-6 times the whole time having them. Like literally, and I want to say those 5 or 6 times was because it was before they dropped. The last time I probably wore them is when we went to the tunnel, turning 96. It was over after that. The shit set. The next year, I remember looking at them and was like, damn, these shits are still crispy. And then they just sat. And then 99, I was looking through a lot of shit that I had, and that was the return of the retros. Well, not the retro of this sneaker, I'm just saying the retro period. So I'm going through boxes, and my shit spiraled out of control by then, because 98, the Bo Jacksons redropped. 99, we got the 4s, we got so much different shit. So I started giving shit away. And that's another thing that I want to talk about, right? I notice a lot of people like to rate shit off of what they see people have, or they be like, oh, niggas is a has-been. They don't got this, they don't do that no more. Nah, I know a lot of people that have a lot of shit. They don't keep a lot of shit. For instance, you got some people that wear shit for a while. Now the new thing is to sell it, get some of your money back. I respect that. But me, I always, when I didn't wear shit no more, I gave it away. Whether it was a cool ass kid from the neighborhood that didn't have much, or even if he did, I just asked him, do he want it? Or if it was some fiends that I know that didn't have shit, that was fly as fuck, I could get them to cut my grass, do certain shit. I get him a bag of shit, or I'll split it up. Maybe it's 2 fiends I know. Yo, you could cut my grass if my peoples need something done. Do it for them. And here's some money, and here's this bag for you and this bag for you. To this day, when I see them, they be like, yo, you got anything? You got any size 12s? Da, 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 da. But now that I have family members that could fit a lot of my shit, I'll give it to them. And if they don't want it, then I'll disperse it that way. But stop judging people off how many sneakers they got on display, because a lot of motherfuckers that got sneakers on display just are doing it because it's the cool thing to do and they really don't wear them shits. You know what I mean? If you got an end goal to, I don't know, if you thinking they're gonna appreciate certain shit and you're gonna get rid of it, that's a whole different thing. The disconnect with shit nowadays is really because of shit like that, like people just being judgmental of what they actually see, what people show. Yo, I know motherfuckers that got damn near no following on the gram and will walk circles around a lot of the people that y'all say are top curators or y'all think are goated. Yeah, for real. They don't show they shit. They don't give a fuck. It's just regular. It's a lifestyle. Like, that's why that's in the bio on my page. Like, before it was all this new shit. For a lot of us, it was just a lifestyle. So it was like, yo, all right, we did it. It's on to the next thing. That's like, that's something a lot of brands need to touch base with too. Like, yeah, that shit is good. I feel great like this t-shirt and shit like that when a million people buy it. It feels good, but then once you have that viral moment and something goes super duper crazy, the people that's on that shit, I'll be like, oh nah, it's quiet. I ain't fucking with it no more. Too many people are doing it. That's just how it is. I'm like that with a lot of shit. And I can't get over certain shit due to them reasons. And this sneaker kind of does that to me. Like when I seen how they reacted in 2011 over it, it's like, if I do end up getting another pair, I will probably wear once in the blue. But this is not a sneaker that's on my top list to have anymore and shit like that. The IE, the 11 IE, that's a different story. But yeah, I just want to share the story on the Concords. And another thing that I had to come to the conclusion with, like, a lot of shit affects different age groups differently. Like for my era, the Jordan 3 and the Jordan 4, shit like that, we always look at like, God damn, like that's one of them ones. Even the Aqua 8, it's a few other pairs that, really like the Olympic 7, like certain shit from when we were a certain age. So a lot of kids that were teenagers in 2011 and shit like that, this shit hit different for them. So I respect it. Like if this is their grail, or you know what I mean? Or some that was young in 95, but seeing the elders have it, whether it was a cousin or a brother, and they wanted it back then, but they couldn't get it because they were too young or they just couldn't get it. They didn't have their own money. As they got of age, they get it. But for me, is this one of my top 5, dead or alive, of all times with Jordans? Absolutely not. And now that I'm saying it, of course, I'm going to give y'all my top 5. This is in no order neither. I'm going to go with Black Cement 3. Y'all call it the Bread 4. I don't remember what them shit said on the original box, but the OG Black Jordan 4. Black Metallic 5s. Olympic 7. Aqua 8. Infrared 6, well, it don't gotta be infrared, but the Jordan 6, whether it's infrared or the original red color from 91, that'll be my 6, man. I know that shit sounds crazy to people, but those 5 that I named, I need those over the other ones. Definitely. And if it had to be what Jordan 11 would I choose, like I said, give me the black with the red bottom, or the Space Jam, all black with the clear bottom. But if it's just a 11, y'all could keep all of them and give me the IE. Like I said, it's not a bad shoe. Now it's grown on me way more than it did in 95. But yo, that's what separates the difference. Like people will see this shit and be like, "You're bugging. You just trying to be different and think different." Nah, that's how shit was. Like when people did too much of the same thing. Like the saying, man. All waves come to shore. Them shits crash. You know what I mean? too much water will water some shit down. We seen it happen with many sneakers. Like it's going on now with the Vomero 5. Why do we need all them colors? We don't need all them colors, man. The foam posit, when they turned them shits into weather maps and Versace patterns and all that shit, it was like, yo, alright, enough is enough. We don't want that shit. Like the Jordan 1. 7 million colors. I mean, anything. Oh, Michael Jordan pledged his sorority. That's why we made this color. Oh, he used A1 steak sauce, so that's why we got this color. Like, it's just too much added on to the story, man. So, like, with certain shit, I don't know. And then sometimes I just get in the mood where it's like, I ain't fucking with that right now. Like I own dunks. Not a lot of pair, but like right now I just feel as though I wouldn't wear dunks outside. And that's not a bad thing. That's just my choice. Like, you know what I mean? Go through phases. Yo, shout out to I be paying attention to y'all too. Like now everybody's running with the narrative about make GRs great again. GR meaning general release. Now, you know what I mean? If it don't apply, let it fly. Cause I know who really feel like that and who's just really capping and following what's going on right now. But yeah, man, just be you, man. Nothing's wrong with copping a general release. If the shit is fire, buy it. Like seriously, it's so fucked up the past few years with this sneaker shit that it'll be good GRs that'll come out. And this is how I always pinpoint certain shit, right? I'll post some shit and they'll see somebody have it on. We might have got this sneaker that I'm posting. I'm posting the original one, of course, but we might have got a retro of that sneaker, right? And people would be like, damn, Nike bullshit. Why they ain't bring it back? Nah, that sneaker came back, but you didn't cop because you was caught up in the hype phase. Then you have those that critique the sneaker. I'm not mad at that. They'll be like, yo, I got that shit. It was a bullshit retro. The shoe wasn't good. The materials was cheap. I respect that 1,000%. But you got people that's just like in a way, they didn't even know that the fucking sneaker retro. So, you know what I mean? Be you, man. Then you got the other people that's buying the fake hypes. Like somebody commented on something on my page and was like, yo, they don't make the sneakers the same. I'll go buy the cheap shit, $50. The replica version, Yo, I removed him as a follower from the page. I told him, yo, you are exiled from this community because that's not some shit that I stand for or preach, you know what I mean? To each his own. I'm not knocking what you're doing, but you can't be a part of what we doing if you into fake shit, man. And that's just that. That's how it's always been. You know, today's culture makes it all right, or they feel as though you bullying somebody when you speak your opinion and be honest on the shit. Like that shit is a no-fly zone in what we do. If you rock fake or replica sneakers and you follow my Instagram or YouTube and you think it's fine and that's what you into, just unfollow because that's not no shit that I'm stamping ever. I didn't come into the game on that shit. Do I care if you do it? Absolutely not. Wear what the fuck you want to wear, but don't come into the community with that shit, man. Nah, we not rocking that with that.